This is the Fates. We're
We're
the
the Fates.
Fates.
Clotho,
Lachesis,
Atropos.
we weave your lives, start to finish, and we decide patterns that your life will take. So listen now, you'll hear a story of transformation, challenge, daring, from ancient Greece's antique glory.
Spin a story. Weave a tale.
Of power challenged, might defied,
Hard work questioned. Courage decried.
truth and justice both denied.
We'll calculate the cost of pride.
Mortal challenged majesty.
Question divine authority.
Then what happened?
Watch
Watch
and
and
see.
see. Once long ago in the land of Lydia, there lived a young girl named Arachne. Her father, Idmon, was a dyer of wool. Her family was poor, had always been poor.
Worked hard for a living. You see, my wife died when our daughter was born. And since there were no others to take care of her, I take little Arachne to work beside me. She was good as gold. All day she'd play among the strands of colored wool I'd left on the workroom floor. One afternoon, she couldn't have been more than 3, Arachne began to twist and weave and wind the strands together.
Papa, look what I've made.
You've made yourself a doll, Arachne, my pet. A pretty toy. Good for you.
Since I was a tiny tot, I wove lot. Games and toys and other girls and boys were not for me. Instead, by my shuttle, spinning wheel, and loom, I'd stay. I'd say, no play for me today, not till this stubborn knot's undone, and the tangle in this fleece is smooth and beautiful and straight.
Who was your teacher, Arachne?
Oh, nature's world outside my door. I learned from the trees and the forests and the streams and the hills, and as I played at his side, my father told me stories, the most wonderful stories.
Tales from when I was a boy, of adventure and daring. Stories about the gods on Mount Olympus, their heroic feats. Jason and the Golden Fleece, Heracles and his 12 labors, Odysseus' return home and their shameful, sordid deeds. Poseidon, Dionysus, Hades, and especially Zeus.
How, Papa? How did the gods do their bad deeds?
Well, by magic, by metamorphosis.
Meta, who? What's a morphosis?
Metamorphosis, it means change. These gods were shapeshifters. They used their supernatural power to transform themselves to an animal, a bird, a river, even a bunch of grapes, in order to pursue their victims, usually innocent young girls.
Were they bullies?
Yes, the worst kind of bullies, all powerful, taking advantage of mortals weaker than they. Little Arachne listened to the stories, which created vivid pictures in her mind. She began to weave some of the pictures into her work. Little by little, the images became so real that one could see a face, or a flower, or a rainbow. From dawn to dusk, Arachne worked away at the loom, weaving wool.
Weave in, weave out, the warp and the weft.
Weave up, weave down, weave right and left.
Be patient with yourself, persistent.
Always do your best, consistent.
Make mistakes, but be resolved to try again. Be dedicated.
Relentless, calm, no hesitating, and practice, always practice.
Arachne's arms grew tired. Her shoulders ached. Her eyes grew heavy. Her energy slaked.
But
But
even
even
when her fingers were bloodied by the spindle's errant sting, she refused to stop.
instead, she'd walk among the singing streams, the flowers and the trees, smelling wet grass, the fragrance of the breeze, the damp earth beneath her feet.
And return, refreshed and inspired, to her loom, where she'd spin the colors she'd just seen in nature's art into her own.
Because I was so small, I didn't separate the fragrance, color, touch, or taste nature's world around me, but knew them all at once, and so I wove.
Eyes and fingers deft and sure, vision clear, pictures pure.
Frost spatter, rain spatter, lightning flash, ocean crash.
Whirlpool swirling, leaves twirling.
Pearl of chambered nautilus shell.
Snowflakes pattern, ferns as well.
Nature's pure design of wing,
Simplicity in
in
everything.
everything.
Weave a shaft of sunlight, dazzling drops of dew.
Dance a morning shower, shimmer, shimmer, golden blue.
Now a thread of lavender, now a crystal gleam.
Leaf shadow, petal shine, fragrant morning glory vine.
Rose reflection. Are we done?
Let the evening breeze decide.
Let the moonlight gleam. Through challenge came change
And knowledge.
and growth. Arachne's beloved father Idmon died in his sleep one night. An easy death, no pain. But Arachne was overcome with grief.
Arachne is now grown up, which I wove into my work. Scarcely knowing my intent, but when, at close of day, I looked at what I'd done, I saw heartbreak in every thread. My hands had woven darkness and despair, new feelings I had yet to understand. Then, all alone, I spun. My only friends, the shuttle, spindle, and the loom, from dawn until the light of day had dimmed.
Arachne's talent, wrought by wrenching emotion, tempered by experience, polished by hard work, revealed her awe-inspired talent for design, which compelled the viewer to attend. Her colors rivaled nature, rich in hue, from palest ivory to deepest blue. Her tapestries, now sought after by merchants and noblemen, adorned the walls of the finest castles. Soon word got around.
First rate,
Magnificent.
top notch,
A miracle.
careless,
Unrivaled.
outstanding, the
The
pinnacle.
And so the news spread from village to town of Arachne's skill. You know, it was bound to reach Olympus and the ears of the goddess Athena herself, who, as you might imagine,
Was not thrilled to have her skill compared to that of a mortal. Not even a princess or a queen, but a common sort of person of no more than 14. And where's her gratitude? I can't begin to calculate what that tacky upstart owes to me. Why, without me, Athena, the goddess of weaving, she wouldn't even have a loom, much less the standard I have set with my superior example. I haven't received a word of thanks from this audacious mortal. Ariadne or Electra or Raki or whatever her name is. She hasn't made me a prayer, much less an offering, or even written me a thank you note. She hasn't shown her face in my temple, but she clearly owes her talent and her fame to me.
easy does it, Athena. Don't get upset. You know what it does to your complexion.
Quiet, bird, get back in your cage.
I don't have a cage.
Well, shut your beak or you'll get one. Be quiet, I'm thinking up my next move.
Okay, for now.
Make yourself useful, you pesky owl. Go get my makeup kit. And get lost.
As praise for her work continued to reach her ears, Arachne gained confidence and faith in her work. After all, I've worked hard for all I've received, and I have the calluses to prove it. One morning, the nymphs and dryads gathered to admire her new tapestry.
It's your best work ever.
Do you really think so?
Absolutely. Look, a blue jay is trying to eat the cherries you've woven out to the bough. And the bees, see them swarm? They're trying to gather pollen from your woven pansies. I think they want to make honey. Into this tapestry Arachne had woven
Colors so brilliant they don't have a name.
the sound of rain,
A baby's first laugh,
the smell of lilacs,
and fresh baked bread.
the touch of silk,
of sun-warmed earth.
And feelings, a rainbow of emotions. The actors find the body language to create a statue of emotions using levels and body language.
Joy,
Discovery,
curiosity,
remorse,
sadness,
excitement,
grief,
wonder,
sorrow,
confusion,
anger,
confidence,
hopefulness,
embarrassment.
delight. Suddenly, one cold morning, there was a knock at the door. The naiads rushed to open it, and there stood
Athena, a withered, wrinkled crone with a crooked back and a crooked stick. Come to see the mistress of this house.
I am Arachne. I live here. How may I help you?
Is it true that you're a weaver?
That is my trade, yes. But you must be chilled. May I offer you a cup of something warm?
Perhaps a shawl.
Around her shoulders, Arachne put a shawl, the color of mist, warm as Helios' embrace. So gossamer soft it felt like a cloud on her shoulders.
Is this a sample of your wares?
Yes, it is. I just finished it this morning.
It's very fine. I understand your weaving is highly praised. So, it that you have a great talent, goddess-given talent.
I have earned praise, yes, but I've worked very hard for it.
And of course, you were endowed with this talent for weaving from the great goddess Athena.
I know she invented the art of weaving, and for that I am grateful. But Athena did not give my art to me or teach me my craft.
Yes, is that so? You dare say so?
It is the truth. I learned to spin and weave in my father's shop, at my father's knee, and with my father's blessing. But my art was hard won.
Are you saying that you haven't given offerings, made sacrifices?
Oh, sacrifices, yes.
Yes, of course. I thought that surely must be the case. Otherwise, what would account for your expertise, your fame, your growing fortune, the praise of so many? So, yes, you have given thanks at her altar, made sacrifices to the wise, beautiful goddess Athena, who has seen fit to bless you with her bounty and your gift of weaving. No wonder your work is superb.
You misunderstand me, Auntie. I've sacrificed my sleep and my waking. I've sacrificed my health, bending over the loom. I've sacrificed many hours of my youth, working at my craft, perfecting, polishing. I have sacrificed, yes, but not to Athena.
Ah, my girl, you must be aware that you court trouble. Failing to give thanks to a powerful goddess like Athena, it's a dangerous game. My advice, change your ways, or you will regret it.
I cannot, in all honesty and with respect, do as you advise. It would be false. It'd be flattery, not true praise. To thank the goddess for work I achieved myself, I must tell the truth as I was taught to do. Nature herself, not any god on Olympus, has been my mentor, my teacher, my inspiration, my guide.
I wonder if you would speak so shamelessly if the goddess herself could hear you.
I am not ashamed. My work has value, hard won value. I'm bound to stay true to myself and to my word, even if the goddess Athena were here herself.
Kaboom! She throws off her disguise. Underneath, she wears a splendid cape and gown with a crown upon her head. She has been bent over it. She now stands erect. She is here. I am Athena. Bow to me, ungrateful mortal.
I greet you, but I will not bow.
I demand that you amend your words, vain and arrogant mortal.
Must I alter my words because you and I are now face to face?
Speak your mind, mortal. I've already heard the worst. That you've compared your weaving to mine and boasted that you're as good as or even superior to Athena.
Well, it's not hard to understand. You weave only every now and then. I weave every day.
Your arrogance is not to be endured.
I ask you, is it arrogance to value the work of your hands? To speak truth with one with the power to harm you? What's the price of false humility? Of bending to authority?
Authority. So you admit I have authority over all you do, but I am the master weaver, and you're just an apprentice. Not that you've given me credit or the slightest bit of gratitude. Have you said thank you once in this entire meeting to the goddess who inspired you?
Pay attention, Thena. The girl just said that nature inspired her. Nothing to do with you, Thena.
What are you doing here? I thought I told you to.
Get lost? But I know you better than you know yourself. Plus, I knew you'd need me, and you do.
Shut your beak, you foolish fowl.
Please, not a foolish fowl, a fabulous owl fowl. Who do you ask? Glauca's my moniker. I belong to Thena. Pleased to meet you, Arachne.
You're welcome, Mr. Glauca.
Listen to Glauca. Glauca's got some good advice. I'm bound to give Thena good advice, whether she likes it or not. See my yellow eyes? I can see in the dark. I have foresight, hindsight, and insight. I am full of wisdom and wit, if I do say so myself. Here's what Glauca's thinking. You two need a contest, a competition, a championship match. We've got standing room only audience here, and Glauca will be the referee. The judge. I'll be fair, no worries. My middle name is Fair, and because of my owl eyes and my true blue color, I never miss a trick. So, is it a deal?
You mean we should fight?
In a ring?
With boxing gloves?
Of course not. That would be absurd. Ridiculous, right? Not a boxing match. A weaving match to see who's the better weaver. The champ, the winner! Gather round, folks. Nymphs and dryads, all you onlookers, let the duel begin. The battle of the loom. A deal, yes?
Okay.
Tell your story.
So two looms were set up side by side, and as Athena and Arachne gathered their wool, everyone crowded around to watch. Tell your stories, weave and weave. Enter the world of make-believe. Light imagination from within.
Pass the shuttle, out and in. When the bell rings, you may begin.
May the world's best weaver win. Ring!
Assured, unhesitating, confident, Athena allowed the wool almost to weave itself.
Arachne entered the world of her senses, memory, emotions.
She could hear her father Idmund's voice, urging her on, telling her stories.
And she knew right away what her subject would be.
The onlookers were eager to see the finished tapestries, but were as fascinated by how Arachne wove as by what she would weave. Her fingers flew like hummingbirds with speed and precision. The sound of the dueling looms filled the air.
Whir, 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 whir. Clickety, clickety, click, click. Clickety, clickety, click, click. Swish, swish, row, row. Swish, swish, row, row. Whoosh, 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 whoosh.
Glauca the owl was the guardian of the time as well as the judge. It was he who determined the duration of the contest. The hours sped by, Athena and Arachne working steadily, tirelessly, and then, okay, ladies, the time is almost up. On my count. 3, 2, 1, done!
Ring!
And now we're ready to see who won. Now, who's first?
I'm the goddess. I'm first.
And Athena's tapestry, woven with cloud wool, was exquisite. She'd chosen threads of celestial hues, gold, copper, silver, the colors of the sun and moon, the stars and planets. She'd woven the gods and goddesses of Olympus in all their glory, all their splendor and majesty, elevating and celebrating their achievements, their heroics. In the center, Athena herself stood triumphant, having just defeated Poseidon and naming the city of Athens after herself.
All four corners had one thing in common. They all depicted mortals who defended the gods.
Prometheus changed to a rock by Zeus for stealing fire.
Actaeon turned into a stag by the goddess Artemis and devoured by his own dogs for boasting he was the better hunter.
Icarus cast into the sea for flying too close to Helios.
And finally, Medusa, once a beautiful young woman, turned into a monster by Athena herself for vanity.
And then it was Arachne's turn. Let's see what you got to show us, my girl. Arachne had woven a rogues gallery of the gods. Zeus, Poseidon, Hades, Dionysus. She revealed them as sadistic, impulsive, abusive, and unjust and cruel. Throughout her tapestry, she'd woven scenes of malevolent gods tricking, shape-shifting to attack mortals. All young women, all without provocation.
Zeus, in the form of a white bull, pursued Princess Europa.
Transforming himself again, Zeus turned into Apollo, kidnapped Callisto, another princess, then turned her into a bear.
Poseidon deceived, then chased Princess Melantho by shape-shifting into a dolphin.
Dionysus tricked Erigone, the daughter of Icarius, by turning himself into a bunch of grapes.
Zeus, this time transformed into a shower of gold to deceive Danae, who became the mother of Perseus.
And in the center was Athena's own mother, Metis, herself a shapeshifter, in an alarming depiction of pursuit and transformation.
Yet another conquest of Zeus. Metis was carrying Zeus's child, but ran from him as fast as she could.
Zeus pursued her.
Metis turned into a hawk.
Zeus turned into a hawk and flew after her.
Metis turned into a fish.
Zeus turned into a fish and swam after
She
her.
turned into a serpent and wiggled away, then instantly turned back into Metis again,
Zeus captured Metis and swallowed her whole.
followed by wine and a chaser of nectar.
Next morning, Zeus awoke with an Olympic-sized headache, ordered his son Hephaestus to split his head open with one mighty blow.
Out sprang a daughter, the goddess Athena, fully grown, helmet, armor, and all.
At this final revelation, the onlookers applauded. But Athena, outraged, turned on everyone.
You applaud this mishmash of color, this poor excuse for design, this insult to me and to my family. You make me scoff. You make me say, ha!
Ah, you surely are looking through the green eyes of jealousy.
I told you to hold your tongue or you're going to end up on a platter.
You can't scare me, not Glauca. It's my job to censor you. Not censure you, but perhaps subdue you. Goddess you are and ever mighty. Only owl am I, and flighty. Still my sight is always true, sure as my wings are brilliant blue. Arachne's work is a masterpiece. She has woven into her tapestry a dimension that you, Athena, with all your majesty and power, cannot include. The colors and textures of human emotion. She's woven terror, anger, despair into the women in her tapestry and into their pursuers' malice, lust, and cruelty. I pronounce the mortal Arachne the winner! Athena's rage burned like wildfire inside her. She was angry not just because of Glauca's ruling and Arachne's insult to her own family,
But because she herself could find no flaw in Arachne's work. Now you will pay the penalty for your arrogance and your ingratitude and your pride, a severe penalty. Here's what I think of your tapestry. I'll rip this and this and this. And she rips and stamps on the pieces she's ripped. And since you will not use this shuttle again, here's a better use for it. Take this for arrogance, and this for pride, and this for ingratitude. And she breaks the shuttle and stamps on it, and Arachne cowers.
Arachne fled from this assault and, in her despair, tried to hang herself with a strand of her own wool. But Athena stopped her just in time.
Though your work is perfect, you've made a mockery of the supreme beings of Olympus. You will be stripped of your human form, but I will not deprive you of your power of weaving.
As she cursed Arachne, Athena sprinkled her with Hecate's herb.
Spin, Arachne, spin and weave, spin until you die. You will weave a silken trap for those who creep and fly.
And Arachne's body and head began to shrink.
Her hair fell out.
Her nose and ears disappeared.
Her agile fingers stuck to her sides as legs.
The rest of her is belly,
on which she still spins a thread, and a spider, as arachnid, continues to weave her web. And then what happens?
Well, I kind of hate to say it, but Athena hasn't aged well. Her temple's mostly deserted. Her fires burnt out. Her altars bare. Here's what Glauca thinks. If you mortals are to honor them, the powers that be should be better masters. Set examples of kindness instead of cruelty, truth instead of lies, justice rather than crime.
But Arachne, what about her?
What
happened to Arachne? Remember, we, the Fates, are the original weavers. Arachne was very special to us, and we've taken care of her.
With 8 bright eyes and 8 strong legs,
strong of body, brave of heart,
turning hardship into art,
she's faster now than ever.
Daring, dashing, spirited,
inventive, gutsy, clever.
Never shirking, always stoic.
She has earned the word heroic.
We've watched your metamorphosis with wonderment and pride. When challenged, you would not back down. The mighty you defied.
We brag and boast. You've made the most of a verdict meant to harm you. And so, to laud our treasured gem, our most brilliant colors we'll employ, to weave your fate with our greatest joy, and tell your story.
For now you'll weave and weave and weave.
Ever daring, ever clever.
Your artistry will live forever.
We're proud of you, our spider girl.
To this day, Arachne's descendants cover the earth.
The spiderlings enter with their webs.
Hey guys, welcome. Come and join our story and introduce yourselves.
Thanks. Hello, folks. We're the spiderlings.
Sam,
Simon,
Stevie,
Susanna,
and Sherwood.
Borne by the wind on our silken threads, we balloon across mountains and valleys and lakes, creating our webs of gossamer silk. We learn and change, create and grow, bestow our eggs on leaf and blades. Our galleries, rafters, meadow grass, and eaves, we spin between fieldstones and under leaves.
So when you rake,
or sweep,
or dust,
respect our art.
To reward you, we will
weave a shaft of sunlight, catch a drop of dew, shimmer, shine, shimmer, shimmer.
Catch a fat mosquito for our dinner.
We're Arachne's nephews, nieces, born to share our masterpieces.
For all time.
For all time.
For all time.